And we're live. First time in a few days. Hey, Nick. Good morning. How are you? I think we are going to blob it here a little bit. Peter, good morning or good day, as the case might be. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Miss me? Get Peter. Or hey, Peter. Phone does what it wants to. Yeah, it always does, doesn't it? Anyway. Back I did not get to do anything last night on this model. We got home yesterday afternoon. I crashed because it was just exhausted. We were up way late the night before. So, hey. Still singing Blue Stuff of Things. Yes, I am. Like I said, I got back. We got back yesterday, and I was just like hung out with the fam. We watched Downton Abbey, the recent movie, and it's like, all right, I'll come downstairs afterward. And I was just like way too tired. So yeah, no. How's the game or the cheering? So the cheering was was certainly something interesting. First, I'll give you guys a little rundown of the last couple days. So we went down there, had my wife and I got there a little early, got ourselves planted, did a couple things. Then we went out and picked up our daughter. I'm sorry. We went to the game afterward. We picked up our daughter. We went out to dinner. So we watched her cheer. We were right, literally mid court, 2 rows up. Couldn't be any better. Had perfect view of her. So I can't wait for Fockham Hall. What is that? What is that? So she did great. First time being in front of like a fairly sizable crowd. The arena at the university is, I mean, it's not the largest I've ever seen, but it was not small. And she did really well. She tripped once. Of course, it became a bit of for her, it became a bit of a running joke. Everybody else is like, we all done it. Don't worry about it. And then the next day, the comedy written by Jimmy Carr. Oh, really? TV series or movie? And then Friday was my wife and I spent the day in New York. So We dropped off a couple things with my daughter, went down to the city, had a nice, just kind of walked from Grand Central Station. Talk about this in a second. Grand Central Station over to the theater district, had lunch, or excuse me, like a early dinner. I should know that name, and I'm forgetting on who it is now. Then watched. We saw a stage show, British stage show of all things, called Operation Mincemeat. I think the third word of previous voice gave that away. The third word. Downton Abbey, Falcom Hall. And the only thing I can think of is yes. I can take a guess. Third word? Oh, yeah. Okay, movie. Yeah, sorry. Not fully awake. It was a long day, still recovering. Saw a stage show, took the train back to the hotel. I will say this: New York is a tolerable place to visit. It was a sensory overload, and I'm glad that we were Jimmy Carr. So that guy is great. I'm assuming that's who we're talking about. I am not a fan of New York City. Way too much stimulus, too much oops, let's go up a little bit. Yeah, way too much stimulus. And then follow that by just the smells, everything. Yeah, Nick. Should probably know who that is, and I'm spacing out on who it is now. Anyway, got back late, had breakfast with our daughter yesterday, and then took off for home. Whoops, hello. Did errands, and now we're back at the bench. Glasses. Okay. And you guys do anything fun? Anybody have a good couple days? I think I dropped something. I did right there. Come on. Busy weekend. I sat in the woods yesterday for 45 hunting. The only deer I saw, I just missed the front of my truck. When I was, oh wow, we saw 2 deer yesterday driving back. We actually, one was in the road. We kind of slowly crept up to it. It ran to the side of the road. We saw another one next to it, and they both stared us down. I'm like, dude, we could have hit you. Hey, Joe. Good morning. How's been your rotations? It's been okay on the Michigan Frontier. You guys consider the brand for airbrushes? I have an affinity for gallery, but what do you guys like? I think kind of like the paint conversation. I think it really comes down to what do you like? Um, there's so many good airbrushes. I mean, I've of the ones that I've used over the years, the ones that I've liked, the one that I've liked the most, my go-to is my Iwata HPCS. But Iwata makes a few varieties. The Neo is good. The Master ones are good. I hear that the Gallery ones are good. Harder and Steenbeck, Pasha. I mean, take your pick. They're all good. I have cheap airbrushes. I'm spacing the name of these really fancy ones, but they are huge money. Yeah, there's just so many. Harder and Steenbeck is the German brand. Yeah, Apache Raptor is my go-to. I want to try the D-Spay airbrush. The new D-Spay, the one that basically sprays from outside. It's the external mixed one. It just pulls paint. And you just kind of, yeah, it's no internal mixing of the paint. We're talking to one of the resellers for that up at Granicon, and he's like, they gave him one to give it a tryout to. Yeah, them German ones. Yeah, Harder and Steenbeck. Looks interesting. Yeah, there's a couple people that it's basically if you go to AliExpress, you'll see a couple different versions of it available. But yep, they look interesting. I'm gonna have I'd like to have a test report from somebody before I decide to try anything like that out. That's not gonna work. So we'll do this again. Rotate. You pick up. I think that was me squishing this one. Damn it. Yeah, it's a little blobby now. There we go. And bad either on the display, the Raptor. It's an arm and a leg. Still waiting for grow back. Yeah. Um, guys. Thanks. Let's not trip over those power cords. It's time and money, Nick. Yeah, I think I paid close to $100 for it. It is the most expensive tool I bought for the hobby. Yeah, nice. Hey, Edwin, what's going on, brother? The one benefit to the harder and Steenbecks that I've heard is that the cleaning process is a lot easier because you can extract the needle through the front rather than pulling it back through the chamber and possibly gunking up the airbrush. Okay. Edwin. It's not too bad compared to some of the prices out there. I went cheap with mine. I think it was 50-ish. Yeah. The Neo is a very good airbrush. The Iwata Neo, which is basically a Chinese-made version of an Iwata. Yeah, it's a very good airbrush. Yikes. Oh, well. Didn't want to do that, but that's okay. Now that I have, it's okay. It'll do. Okay. If I pulled one of my nephew into Gumpo building, all right, so I quote, "It is more satisfying than building Lego." Yes. High praise indeed. It's supposed to snow today. Yeah, I've heard we're getting the same thing on Tuesday here. I'm hoping that's not the case, but let's see what happens. I'll look at the what I think the one for the one I was looking at. Yeah, it's mid 80s here still. So it just launched the Aventus where you can select a range of colors on some of the components. I am interested in pricing on that. Looks premium. Yeah. So you get to customize the color of the body, I guess. I don't know. This is one of those places where I think function over form absolutely matters. I've got three that I typically keep around. I have a Badger that one of these days I'll try to restore. I don't know. Airbrush is supposed to just do one thing, and anything outside of that, I generally don't really care too much about. You know, cleaning up. The easier the cleanup, the better. But in terms of things like color and stuff like that, yeah, I couldn't care less. There we go. Okay. You want another badger? Yeah. Yeah. No. It's a good money grab. The same thing, but in colors. Yeah. I mean, I can understand if it's like maybe if you color code them, they might, oh, this one is for this one's for that. Maybe if you're a visual person, that might kind of help. But if you're paying a premium for that, just put a piece of tape or something around the handle. The Iwata has just always worked well. Perfect? No, but it's worked well. We're gonna cross the streams here like this a little bit. But like I said, in the end, I think you're going to find that it doesn't matter. All airbrushes, a good airbrush is going to do exactly what it needs to do. It's going to put paint onto something, right? I know that sounds kind of like, well, yeah, duh. But that's as long as it does that, everything else is like less important. What's the name on it? Whatever. I want to pick up at some point. I'd like to pick up a trigger style airbrush with like a .7 just to be able to just shotgun out a bunch of paint. Across now. Let's see what we got. In my gallery, just for the way the owner did the community in the past. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Every time I'm kind of tempted to buy one, it's like, man, just not sure. What's going on, Ken? Good morning. Yeah, but remember, I'm weird that way. I like being creative, especially aesthetically. That's fine. Go for it. It is a new design too, not just colors on it. Just the Tamiya trigger paint gun. I'd love to get the I want a larger airbrush to shoot heavier glitter paints. Yeah, you can get ones with 0.7 needles, which I think would work well. And in fact, I would like to try that out as well. Anyway, good morning, Ken. How are you? And we got Mr. Mike Gordon. Mike, what's going on, brother? Check out Harbor Freight. The bigger size. Yeah. Well, on this dry and lovely morning. Dry and lovely, yes. Okay, you got any yard work you have to do? We almost headed in your direction yesterday. My wife wanted to do some shopping at a specific store, and that store, there is one uh, in Longmeadow, if I'm correct. But alas, we went to Farmington, Connecticut instead. You went to Chico's? Close. Have to pull up the garden. Yeah. Sure, brush to paint the other brush. Cheap solution. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Yeah. Hope you and your wife had a great couple of days, and both kids are doing great. Yeah, we had a lovely time in the city. Saw a stage show on Friday. Went out to dinner in New York City. Um, I'm glad we're out of New York City. I can't handle New York City. But watching her do cheer was great. They, weirdly enough, there are four varieties of cheer groups doing performances during a basketball game. She is part of the dance team. They have a kick line team. They have a cheer squad. And I guess I forget what the other one was called, but they were more hip hop oriented. And it was like, okay, but they were prevalent in the first half of the game. And it was good. It was a good game too. Not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I've seen a basketball game in person, and it was good. Is that a Ted Lasso mug? Of course, of course. Then we went out to dinner with her and one of her friends. That was fun. You know, it's I actually enjoy going to visit my kids in college. I enjoyed when I went to see Zoe, and I'm enjoying seeing Mia now too. Actually, I was going to ask Ken. Joe, thank you. A company called Travel Google This has an affordable one too. They also make mouth-watering glitter paints. Mouth-watering. Ooh. Sounds like way more than a basketball game. I miss watching the games with my daughter. She played in she played in high school. Yeah. 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 It's the downside to when they get older and then they no longer do that stuff, right? At some point, yeah, Mike, here's the thing. She was a competitive, like kind of like your daughter. My daughter was a competitive dancer, and that kind of came to an end from the way she was doing things. However, she is now doing dance competitively in a different way. Excuse me. Different team. But also, you don't have individual dance competitions. Everything is team oriented. Anyway, Ken, question for you. You guys are looking at schools, right? You must be looking at schools now for your daughter. How is that going? Because she's a senior. No, she can't be a senior. Is she a senior or junior? That's a kid that's going to get a nice scholarship wherever she wants. Yeah, senior. Yeah, we've been hitting colleges almost every week. Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome, man. Has she narrowed it down? Because now we're getting down to like the high wire, right? So another thing is yesterday we went to an urban toys painting workshop and found new friend and community while acquiring new skills. Oh, Edwin, that's great. So urban toys painting workshop, where was that? That sounds like kind of a cool thing. I am going to come across this way and go right into, this is going to come right into the bead welds. Ken, also, has she narrowed it down to like a top 3 or anything like that, or is it still kind of up in the air? How much will that set you back these days? How much will what set you back these days? Harbor Freight will have a small auto body touch-ups. I believe 4 ounces, but we'll spray heavy flake paints. It's almost a trigger action. I've seen those. I think she wants to go into nursing. She really wants to swim. So decision will probably be weighted by that. Yeah, that makes sense. Who throws the most amount of money as I become a competitive swimmer? Absolutely, Ken. It was held at an art toy gallery next town. The facilitators are that's awesome. And again, urban. What are they painting at? Are they more toy related? If you guys remember Gamer Bud, he used to pop in particularly on Instagram, and he used to do a lot of toy painting. There's something to be said about toy modification. I mean, it's a really, really cool thing to do. All right, let's get in here. Get this thing spread out a little bit. Yeah. Yep. How expensive? Too expensive. Before, in most cases, before scholarships, you're looking at room and board in the I'm going to say somewhere between $60,000 and $90,000 a year. My daughter wants to be a teacher and something in that field. That's great. Gives me hope that when these kids just want to help others. Yeah. Amen to that. Yeah. My daughter's going into nursing as well. And yeah, she kind of lucked out in how this came about, how Quinnipiac came about, because it was not high on her list. But I think in the end, I think it's all kind of worked out exactly. It's worked out better than she expected. Urban Toys creator, and there was a discussion between members afterwards. Nice. Yep, exactly what Ken said. Perfect answer. Yep. The good side is that if you go into say something like nursing, you are guaranteed. You pass your boards, you are guaranteed a job outside, so you will be making money. Depends on how much you're going to be spending at college. 60 to 90K a year. Oh yeah, room and board and everything, depending on, sure. I think let's see. I can't remember what's the most expensive school, but I think just tuition was around 72. Now you start adding things like room, board, other college expenses, books, everything like that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Saving up your there yet, Nick? That's why when more right-thinking presidents in the past were thinking, hey, we should find ways of doing, kind of like debt forgiveness or that kind of thing, it made sense. Otherwise, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be burdening a society. Again, not looking to get political, but yes. Oops. I think we're going to have to do something back behind there. So my kids better get some scholarships. Can save me now and not afford a year of college at those prices. Yeah, well, let me go up. Yeah. Well, that's why they do plans now for, basically, you've kind of set money aside for college, and then you can, depending on where you go, certain states as an example, you could also set money aside. So, like, let's say your kid decided you wanted you're a Massachusetts resident, you want to go to UMass. There is a you can start saving up for UMass, any of them UMass schools, and you'll be paying a lot less. You'll be almost paying like today's tuition tomorrow. Unfortunately, my younger daughter did not want to go to a UMass school. My older daughter did, but we also were not in the best position to have saved up. So, shame on us. But it's okay. She was the cheap one. We got by with not a lot of debt with her, thankfully. A little, but not a lot. Okay. We're going to come across. I'm getting a little tired of working on this. I'm not going to lie. Still got a long way to go. She will get free for EMU because where I live now gets discount at MSU, so she has the best option now. Yeah, that's good, Joe. Having those options is always a good thing. That's why get the best get the best scholarships you can. Look at the school that makes the most sense. Go from there. I was originally educated in the health sector. They may have guaranteed employment, but unless the working conditions and employee safety is better in the U.S., it is not easy money to earn. Well, nursing, I can't speak to this specifically. Ken could always chime in on this one, though Ken is in a very specific field. And Ken, I don't want to overspeak my hand, overspeak my hand. I don't know enough about it, but I do know this. If she wanted to go into, say, pediatric nursing, pediatric uh, emergency services, that kind of thing, she's pretty much guaranteed a job. Is it work? Yes. Do you get like burnout? I'm sure you do, but you're there. It's amazing. So quiet. Those thoughts. Just breathe and you get back to it. Yep. I think you're right, Joe. It's just, what do I have left? I've got the legs, another arm, and the kneecaps to do. I'm probably just over 50% done. You know, yikes. I think the only mistake I one of the things I think that's important about college is we're looking to turn it into college is very, very slowly becoming a technical school, and it should never be that. My daughter is taking this semester, she is taking an art class, and she is still taking a what is she taking? An art class, a sociology class, neither of which are required for her major. Next semester, she's taking a film class, not recommended for it, not part of her major. So the question is, why are these kids taking all this fluffy shit? Why do they take all this stuff for? Because one of the things I think that's important, again, why you go to a university or a college rather than going to a trade school is you are learning not only the specifics of your field, but you're becoming a critical thinker. And I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, whatever political persuasion you have, it is important to remember that a college is there to, if you come from a certain political bent, you hear the other side. If you study something that's like, well, I'm kind of interested in this, you never know if that might become something that you want to follow, or more importantly, it may be something like, wow, that course taught me something that I was not expecting. So universities are designed to do that, and that's why I hope that, whenever you hear about places that say, yeah, we're going to be cutting the humanities courses, it's like, don't do that. Teaching people how to read critically, teaching people how to watch something critically is remarkably important. I like the fluff classes I took. So I removed the blue tack yet? I haven't even painted them yet, though I might actually break this out and do it in phases. I might, since I'm only doing one color, I may later tonight just paint what I've got done and then continue on with the rest of it. Kind of doing painting and masking at the same time. You had with the gouge. Yeah, I know. And Joe remembers that far back. God bless you, Joe. Or should I say curse you, Joe? Yeah, but I think it was more than just I liked them. I'm hoping that they were also like very much like important in teaching you how to think. One point I took a lot of British history courses, and what I appreciated about that was just looking at historically how things came about. You know, the consequences of decisions. Okay. Anyway. Pull this down. Come pretty close to this side. I'm gonna see if I can. One of the things I'm trying to do also is trying to make sure that all the lines that are created are different. That I'm not creating just these same sized lines. I mean, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. Stop that right there. Let's see. Yes, I am cursed to live forever and remember. Nice. Hey, Tom, good morning. What's going on? No, you must mask everything. Must wait another week. week to see. No, no, no. You must mask everything. Make us wait another week to see the results. Nice, Glodge, as in Macross enemy vehicle. Yes, that is correct. Tom. Surviving life relies on choosing what to think. Again, please refer to This Is Water by David Foster Wallace. Well worth the 22 minutes. I gotta catch that at some point. Thank you again, Ken. Peter, don't let the name fool you. Not much Gundam done on this channel. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very true. Yeah. I would yeah, Ken, I choosing what to think. The thing unfortunately is I think we're not there anymore. I think we've given up the I shouldn't say I think we have. I think we have given up the option to think. I think we have the ability to think more clearly today because we have so much access to information, but that bombarding of information has also created a culture and a society where we don't have to think. We can have our advertisers, our politicians, our television shows, our news anchors, they can all tell us what to think. And that, I think, is a shame. Order the reissue 1/3000 FSDF. 3,000 or 4,000 scale? I thought it was, I thought it was 4,000. $3,000. It's the Arcadia build. Okay. The SDF one, not the movie version, huh? Okay. I will take your word for it because I have no idea what that is. Okay. We only got two more little blips to put in here, and then we're calling this one done. It's not a model. It's the transformable adult toy. Oh. Adult toy, huh? Tom, boy, can we go down a dark path right now. All right. We've definitely changed things up here a little bit, which I appreciate. I think we're going to do something a little radically different here. Yeah, just like that. There we go. Okay. This arm is done. Let's go around. Yeah, I'm good enough with that. Yep. Next arm. Got an itch right here too. Bizarre. Bizarro. Very bizarre. All right, let's see what I'm missing here. That changed the complexion of the conversation. Yes, it did. It's the Do You Remember Love version from Arcadia, the former Yamato brand. I just can't call it a toy. It's too precious. But calling it an adult toy is okay? I don't know about that. I think this time we're going to come from the bottom of the arm and go up. From the lower arm and sweep up to the upper arm. Let's see where we are. Yeah. Yep. Start on the back side here. Okay. There we go. Let's get some coffee going. Fine. A high-end collectible. There we go. So an expensive toy. Quarter months ago, it released this month. Nice. That one. Were they Sofubu figures? Some buying them. Yes, expensive toy, Nick. That's a good question. Ken, have you finished any Sofubu stuff yet? I think I want to do. Come on. It's amazing how much this stuff goes. Okay, there we go. Let's see. I'm just wondering how much this stupid tariff's gonna be. A lot. Leave it in the box or take it out of the box. Hey, Mike. Good morning. What's going on, brother? I finished a couple, almost on another piece. Just gonna figure out what else I'm gonna do with it. Nice. It's been a long time since I don't know what you've been working on. I'm hoping some fun stuff, and hopefully it brings some solace. This will be cheaper than getting it here in the States. Nice. Whew. Slowly take it out of the box. Okay. A definite toy if you take it out of the box. I'll take it out, but it's just to see it in person. And then it's going to go back in the box because you got to maintain the resale value. Oops. Got to maintain that resale value. Sorry, guys. Let's see what we got here. Painting a Spider-Man head for my nephew. Oh, very nice. Working on gradients lately. Gonna do top red and fade to blue towards the chin. That's sweet. Ken, will you be bringing any of that stuff to a show? Not to compete necessarily, but just so we can see some of this stuff. I would love to see what you got going on. That's how the OG release MPO1 Optimus was handled. Okay. I know very little of the toy market, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that sounds really, really cool. I want to see this in person. What I guess March, April will be the ValleyCon, which is just down the street from you. Hopefully, you'll be able to make that. Sometimes you can just use your finger. There we go. Yeah, I think this is gonna turn out more tiger stripe than calico. I mean, calico colors, but I'm impressed by people who can do gradients by hand. I can barely do it from an airbrush. Yeah, and I'm assuming that's a good point. Ken, are the gradients are the gradients being done via airbrush or otherwise? I think we are gonna straddle this guy a little bit. Yeah, let's do that. Is there really a right and wrong in doing this? I don't know. Maybe there is. For fuck's sake, I'm probably doing it wrong, but don't really care. Okay. Sorry, guys. Airbrush, my gradients resemble two colors brawling for recognition. Yeah. Hand painting gradients. It helps to wet blend. Yeah. Or use oils. Yeah. Take your pick. Yeah. I got to tell you, I love gradients too. And they're beautiful when they come out well, but not easy to do. I did them on, what did I do them on? I did gradients on the gouge, on uh the bars that are holding it up, the support bars. It was a challenge. Anyway, before we do that, come on. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. Okay. Take a little breaky. Hey, Tony. Good morning. What's going on, brother? Welcome. How are you? How's the fam? How's the puppy? Hello. That could be kind of an interesting shape. What happens? Sorry, guys. Give me a moment here. I'm just trying to get some stuff wrapped up. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Doing okay. Fam is doing well, and the puppy is getting better, but still a PETA. I think that's going to be like the MO for a long while. Long stream this morning. Yeah, I guess. It is Sunday, right? Robert, what's going on, brother? So we found out what that redacted blind box challenge kit is. And what is it? That's kind of cool. Do tell. What is it? Full mechanics, mailers can boot. Oh, okay. Full mechanics. Interesting. Something tells me that Nick probably had a bunch of those lying around. didn't realize I did a full mechanics version of that. That's kind of cool. But maybe I'm wrong. Guys, give a moment. I'll be right there. Okay. Let's see. Is that a Gundam? It is not. Amen. It's from Kyokai Senki. The supplement will go get to work for a competition build. There is a lot of shallow mold lines around surface details. It's an aim. And yeah, good reviews, but I don't think was super popular. None of that stuff. The Kyokai Senki stuff is always around. It's snowing right now. Yay, Joe, go out skiing. Woo! Look at a 132nd Horton. What's a Horton? Finding the cleanup frustrating enough to Bandai's usual standard, but for $40 ship, getting a $60 kit is neat, and it's big and fluffy. Let's grab it for $135 and to hold on. Let's grab that, but for $135 hand. But you went out and bought an expensive toy, adult toy, excuse me. Yeah, the German Flying Wing. Yeah, the Horton. Blah 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 blah. I have one here. Yeah, fuck it. Maybe I moved it. The Horton HO 229. There we go. Hey, missed you on Friday. Yeah, thank you, Peter. How was the meeting? That was pre-ordered before my wife went to China. Nice. How's the meeting? And how are things? Everything good at home? Yeah, we were indisposed, my wife and I, in a good way. Roll this one. Yes, I think we have roll. Sorry about that. Put that one on deals recently. Really, it's funny that he had that. It was good. Less folks than usual. Yeah. Yeah, I heard from a few people that they weren't going to be able to make it. fuck are you doing? There's a hair that's on there, and I can't get to it. And I'm not lifting shit up, so fuck it. It'll get secured on there. So a lot of engines are going to find we can go a deceptively challenging build. But we'll see a lot of people leaving mold lines and such. Yeah. And that's the good thing, right? There are going to be people who are going to take the challenge up and go, ooh, we're going to crush this. And other people are going to be like, yeah, I don't think I want it. Either way. Special order is something he had to order more than one, possibly. And maybe he's trying to experiment on a couple things. It's the Volks version too. Wow, that might be the reason, because he may have picked that up with some of the 5-star story stuff. That might be definitely worth it. Oh, I've got the 1/72nd scale version of the Volks kit with that. I wanted the 148, it was out of stock at the time, and then it's like, I don't think I'll ever work on the engine on this thing. So, yeah. On a slightly interesting note, so last week I was contacted by Scott Gentry from the Plastic Posse podcast. So they did an episode 125 commenting on their disappointment with PatCon. I responded to that. And then this last episode, right after their whole SMC presentation, which was, I got to tell you, listening to those guys talk about like their trip through England into Brussels to go to SMC, they did a really good job of verbally creating visual interest. Like you could feel what they were describing. You could visually see from what they were orally saying um, about the show. It sounded really, really good. Of course, those guys, I think, just in general, are just, for the most part, just really nice guys. I think they do a very good job of how they present themselves, which is pretty cool. But at the very end, he read the letter that I sent to them, and I think he had a very, very positive. He posted it positively, and I appreciated that. So happy about that. And I think with that, the majority of this BS that came around from the judging thing externally has now come to an end. Now we have to deal with it internally. And that is going to be a fine kettle of fish. I think we're going to go pretty high on this one. Thanks. Yep. That's good, right like that. There we go. It's available on the internet. It is available. Did the podcasters finally lose interest in drama farming? They did not. Those guys were not. Yeah. So first of all, the podcast is available on look up Plastic Posse podcast, and it's episode 126, and it's a long episode. The presentation on SMC I'd highly recommend, but if you wanted to listen to what I wrote, it was 5 minutes long. It was at the very end of the 5 minutes at the end of the show. So regarding there were a couple people out there who were they're just assholes and trolls. And I every time I thought, oh, I'll respond, I just never did, and I don't really care because they're jerks. I think I'm going to call it out. Normally, I try not to, but Modeling Insanity podcast, those guys are just assholes. Let's be at let's cut right to it. All they want to do, it's a very, the problem is, and they just go to town. Whereas when the Plastic Posse podcast commented, what I appreciated was they all came about from, didn't we learn anything from 2023 at San Marcos? It's just, this is just so disappointing. And I think that's a very mature way of talking about their frustration with what happened at our show. And I responded by basically saying, yeah, I'm frustrated too, because I feel like we let the community down. Not that the judges necessarily did anything wrong, but our rules did. Anyway, you guys can listen to it, but that to me is a more beneficial way of having a conversation than just going out on going to town and attacking, which is what the Insanity guys did. And after a while, it's like I don't really want to have a conversation with these guys. They personalized it because they not only called out and made some derogatory statements about one of our judges, but they also called me out. And not that, look, I'm a big boy, I can handle it, but it's like, you want to personalize it, but you don't want to invite me to kind of have my say. Okay, that's fine. Have at it. It should be if it's part of the podcast. Hi. Watch the film Noel and the scene where Anna Kendrick is trying to speak. That's what this means. We should all be treating how we should all be treating each other. Film Noel. There's something to be said about having disagreements is always one thing, but being vicious towards each other, as my wife continues to just say, this is a hobby. It's a different conversation. And I agree. It's like, this is not how we should be. I think it's, frankly, I'm some ways I'm glad it worked out the way it did, because it gives us an opportunity to fix some stuff that's broken. Great, we can do that. I think I want to go up a little bit further on this one. Give me a second, guys. People are starting to wake up. There we go. There we are. Let's see. Yeah, no sense interacting with someone acting in bad faith. They'll just try to twist. Exactly. So anyway, stir up controversy for clicks. I don't have to agree with you, but damn, I will fight for your opinion. Within reason, Yeah, I will do the same. I mean, in fact, yes, I will do the same thing. It's on Disney Plus, but I think it's a pretty decent Christmas film. Yeah, we don't have Disney Plus. Dumped it. Nothing on Disney that I really want to watch. But very good to know that you enjoyed it. Was this something that you watched with Emma? But drama sells. Oh, absolutely. And it's an easier to farm drama if you can control an error, but that is easiest by denying the opponent a voice. Yes, I watched it a few times. Nice. Yeah, Peter, you're 100% right. And that's exactly it. Hatred, bigotry. This is like what we talk about here all the time. That kind of insanity always is, it's easier to destroy than to create. Fine. So, that's why I did not respond to that guy, those guys, because I think they're just, and in fact, having also met with one of them at a show, and he could have easily said, "Hey, by the way, we're doing an episode which is going to be talking about what happened at your show." He decided to instead skirt the issue entirely and not say, "Hey, by the way, I attacked you the day before." So with that, it was like, okay, well, at least I know where things stand, and that's good. So in the future, if I have an opportunity to meet him, I will be remarkably cordial and not very informative. And who knows, maybe my Greek will come through. You never know. But in the meantime, but now it's done. Now we have to work on the internal stuff, which I think is going to be just as difficult because we definitely have people who are not interested in seeing change. And it's like, well, that's not going to happen. Santa dies and his son takes over, doesn't fit, and his daughter, Anna Kendrick, becomes. Oh, interesting. It's worth the watch. Sometimes these cheesy holiday films. Oh, I agree. They're kind of fun. Cheesy holiday films are generally fun. Pocket sand. Exactly. Of single syllable answers. Exactly. That is correct. That is correct. Okay, let's just take a quick spin. Make contacts in a couple different areas. I think we're going to do it down here now. Hello. But anyway, Plastic Posse, I think, did a really nice job, and I appreciate their reading the letter. That was great. And who knows? Maybe one of these days we'll have an opportunity to actually be on the show and kind of talk about the rules and the changes and all that other stuff. Who knows? If it happens, great. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. Here we go. Oh, man. Whew. And adorable. You find Andrew Kendrick adorable. Is that right, Tom? She is adorable. I really can't. I don't remember how many films I've seen her in. I don't know since. Yeah, I honestly don't recall. My kids have probably seen a bunch of things with her in it, but not I. Time we got. All right. Let's see if I can wrap up this arm, and then I'm gonna head upstairs. Ooh, no, you gotta come down. There is no way in hell I'm going to be doing any feathering of this thing. I think these lines are way too fine. It's a little more bulbous. There we go. Whew. Your kids were into Twilight. I don't think that they were. I don't recall now. I don't think my younger one was. Maybe my older one. Maybe. So you know, if someone makes styrene sheets with 1/35th diamond plate pattern, I know Photo Edge is available, but I need a pretty good size sheet. Or Pitch Perfect. That they've seen. Yeah, that they have seen. Peter, shit. God, what's the name of that company that sells all that stuff? There is a company that sells brass, aluminum, styrene, all this like sheets of this stuff. Give me a second here. I don't know, you see my chest up close and in person. Here we go. Fuck. So I picked up this brass specifically because I wanted it to be of a specific thickness. And God damn it, what was the name of that company? And they sold brass and styrene. And in fact, Tim Harkins uses the stuff. That's where he goes because he gets a lot of large sheets of styrene. I'm not sure if I lowered them. Did I lower the camera? I may have lowered the camera. Sorry, guys. It's a place called George's Basement. Yeah. Well, I don't have any diamond plate. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for something with diamonds in it, that I definitely don't have anything like that. I've never seen Evergreen sell anything like that either. But this company, God, what's it called? I want to say it's K&S, but I know it's not because K&S sells just brass and metals for the hobbyists. Or a tread plate, just a non-slip pattern. Damn it. Yeah. Peter, I'll see if I can dig up that information. Oh God. It's of course it's killing me because I remember it relatively well. We're gonna do another little V shape here. And I'm not killing you, Peter. It's killing me right now because I remember I spent a lot of time on their website. If I were smart, and I'm not claiming to be, I would have bookmarked it. If Mike is still on, he might know. Thanks. I don't think Evergreen has it. Or if they do, it's railroad scale. Yeah. What diamond plate pattern? Peter, how big did you want the diamonds? Like large? I mean, what size? I mean, 1/35th scale doesn't mean a lot, unfortunately. George, if it is important stuff. I know. Edwin, loser. I know. You're 100% right, Edwin. And I may have it written down somewhere. Like I said, I may have it bookmarked. Just gonna have to take a look to see. Here we go. It just needs to be in scale. They'd be pretty small. It's for the deck of a 1/35th barge. Okay. Oh boy. There has to be something out there. It's a great idea. Now Joe needs to remember where he put that writing. Yeah, I try to keep a book around here where I take notes. Try. I'm assuming Mike is bail, but I'd definitely be asking him to. Diamond plate. Peter, can you 3D print something? I mean, obviously, it's going to be you're saying it's going to be pretty large sized. Would the railroad size work? It would fit a 135th barge. Keep looking. It's not a big deal. Just an idea. No, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Oh, wow. Wire is chipping. It's a surprise. Well, maybe it does a little bit. There we go. I'm here. I am just half awake. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. Looks like plastic has it in railroad skills. Maybe it would work. It could. Yep. You will know best. 135th scale, bottom of a barge. Yeah. I mean, I can certainly understand why one would need that, because you're right. I mean, I've seen plenty of, like, armor does that too, right? There's armor pieces that have that kind of diamond plating at the bottom. What did I do on the tank? Yeesh, that's a lot of dust. Yeah, there's diamond plating on here, but that was molded a part that was molded. I mean, 130 barge would be like 1/100 railroad. Maybe. Again, it depends on how small you want that pattern to be. I think I understand what Peter's going for. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Whew. And this weekend, everyone, I'm going early to sleep today. Alrighty, Edwin. Take it easy, brother. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Let's see if I can make this thing microscopically thin. And then when it comes out, I'll go to a fatter piece. There we go. Sorry, guys. Good morning, Emma. How are you? I hope you had a really nice Saturday. Let's pull some of this down here this way. There we go. Sorry, guys. Another moment here. All right. Whew, there we go. Now let's see what we got going on. Maybe Charles Row in Malden has it, but they're conveniently not open on the weekends. Conveniently. Good. Nice. Glad to see Emma's having a nice weekend. What is Charles Row? Not many places are carrying Plostruct either, if I'm correct. Because how to get good Plaza online shop these days. It's a big model train shop. Interesting. Imagine a hobby store that's closed on weekends. Great business model. Yeah, really. Well, first of all, I think this is one of the mistakes that most hobby shops make. They're open like 9 to 5, like whenever. It's there's a shop down in a gaming shop down in Taunton. They're open noon to something like 9 or 10, which, in my opinion, that makes sense because you're trying to hit the kid crowd, the younger crowd, people coming out of work, whatever, right? 9 to 5 on a weekday for a hobby shop. I just don't understand. It's like, are you in it because of your business or are you in it because you're bored? Who knows? Yep, yep. Um, Hey, Peter, one other recommendation. I don't think they're well, maybe not too far. What about like a place like a Dick Blick or anything like that? Because I believe Blick is open on a Sunday in Central Square. I know that's a haul, but it is a doable thing. And I think they carry Plostruct. So enforcing the server that is for old people. Likely. Those people with those hobbies and money for those hobbies have jobs and thus working hours. Exactly. Maybe I may need to just order something. I'd like to be able to look at it first and choose the one that, yeah. Some stores around here are in the back of hardware stores. Yep. It's just short-sighted thinking is all it is. But par for the course. You know, it's like most businesses that came out of an interest. They didn't come out of it thinking, "Hey, I'm gonna make this into a business." They're like, "Hey, I can sell this stuff." Not making it into, not talking business wise, and that to me is a mistake. They do not think like businesses. All right, we're going to come up this way. I really want to get done with this arm before I head on upstairs. We're almost done. Yeah, maybe not. Train store's huge, 2 stores. I have a lawnmower. No kidding. As you'd want to be hosting build events and stuff. Yep, exactly, Robert. Must be a lot of 60-year-olds that go to shops with their 4-year-old grandkids. Yeah. And for that, you need to open more than 9 to 5. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But again, this is why I think, oh, geez, why is brick and mortar dying? Because they're continuing to not think in terms of what is your target market? What do they want? Are you accommodating it? But again, they think more in terms of what's convenient for them. I think we're going to bring this up more. But yeah, Robert also brings up a very, very valuable point. If you've got a brick and mortar store and you don't have, and again, I can't speak to a train store specifically, but if you've got a hobby shop and you're not doing anything with, having the ability for people to stay there, you're really shortchanging yourself, you're shortchanging your customers, and you're shortchanging your business. Sorry, guys. I know this is not per se entertaining for anybody. But it needs to get done. Oops. Tore through. Let's pick it up and just do this way. Easier than just relocating or removing the stick. There we go. Okay. Whew. Well, we're almost done with this lower part at least, and then I just got the back of the arm to do. Oh man. Still can't believe we got 10 people hanging on. This is ravishing. Ravishing. Yeah, Peter, I'm worried about you. Ravishing. Interesting. ultra thin piece here. Let's see if I can do that with this one. Ravishing. Heard the show called Many, Many Things, never that. Okay. Whew, almost there. Okay, we're just working on the top of the arm. I think we got probably another, oh man, it's almost 8:30. Wow, damn. Okay. We're going to try to get this done quickly. We're almost done here. Almost done. Almost done. Then we got the legs. And just sculpting a little of this. Sculpt some of that. People are starting to wake up, which means I got to get rolling here. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. That will do. Now, just get. Yeah, maybe not. AV question: are you familiar with those boxes that can separate an audio signal from an HDMI cable? Are you talking about being able to turn HDMI into an analog signal, Peter? Like sending it over component wire or a composite cable or something like that? So impressed with the ravishing thing. Oops. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. I apologize. I'm almost done here. Okay. All right. Let's see what Peter says here. HDMI converter of some sort. Yeah, I'd like to send the audio from my PlayStation to my receiver, but it doesn't have separate audio. Ideally, RCA phono jacks. Later, Nick. Have a good one, brother. We'll see you tomorrow morning. The receiver is from 1975. Yeah. What you have to do is you have to get something called an audio de-embedder. So you have your HDMI cable coming into this little box. It sends HDMI video out to whatever display you have, but it also has either analog audio or digital audio out. There are devices that do that. Basically, they're called audio de-embedders. They're extracting the audio from the HDMI signal. That's cool. If you were talking about like, how do I do this for video? That would be a different conversation. And those devices I would not recommend because those things invariably don't work well. Okay, we're laying down this last bit and then we're done here. This one seems a little messier than the other one, which could be good. Maybe messier is the wrong choice of terms. Maybe it's a little more random. Then again, messier could be right too. Okay. Let's do a spin. I think we're done on this. Yeah, there we go. This arm's going to have a lot more orange on it and less black, but in some places, it'll definitely be pretty black. So, all done. So I've got the kneecaps and the legs to do. The kneecaps are going to be the last. Legs I will work on starting tonight when I have time again. Let's search for HDMI extractor. Thanks. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It continues to send the HDMI signal on, but you extract the audio. Yep. Alrighty, guys. Whew, long session today. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Thanks for being on today. Appreciate it. Good to be back at the bench doing some of this. I'm looking forward to it being done. This is what we have left. We basically have the legs left to do. I'm going to start on them tonight. I'm hoping I can get them all done tonight. I doubt it, but we're going to see what we can do. And then we got the kneecaps, and then that's the end of that. Later, guys. Later, Ken. Have a good one. Maybe you can refine the search by adding the connector type or audio format desired. So blue. Yeah, and all that blue is going to be orange. Again, very interesting to see how this is going to come out. I have no idea. None. So, my friends, stay safe and stay sane. Go out there and do good, brighten the world as much as you possibly can. It's a crazy world out there. Got a little better last week, before, whenever it was. So, with luck, we're going to continue to see some progress back to sanity. Keeping fingers crossed. With that, go out there, do good, brighten the world, just show kindness, love, respect for people. Treat people with dignity. With that, I'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Enjoy the day, guys. Do good. Love you all, and peace.